Hi everyone, this is Jonah Boy with you guys again, and well, this is the simple paper shotgun tutorial. I have a few things. First of all, this is about 10 in the morning, so I'm a little tired, to be honest, because I woke up about an hour ago. So yeah, if I sound a little, weird, it's because I'm pretty tired. But I want to get this thing up so you guys can see it, so maybe we can do more. So basically this thing is going to be about this big, and it's just going to be a handle with, a primer, or with the cocking mechanism, the chamber, and then the sights, pretty much. That probably doesn't make too much sense, but I'll show you in a second. So first of all, what I want to do is roll up a tube long ways. It has to be fairly, not large, but maybe so you can stick your index finger in, just the tip of it. That would probably be good enough. So yeah, if we're going fast, this could even maybe be one part, but I don't really, doesn't matter if we do two. So you got one tube. Now you're gonna roll up a second tube, exactly the same thing. So put this tube over the paper and roll over that. So it's exactly the same, pretty much, at least a tiny bit bigger. Try to get it as even as possible. Oh, and also, I mentioned me and my friend have been trying to edit a new rap battle for you guys, but somehow it's just not uploading, so we'll have to get that uploaded somehow. But yeah, and then just take it out. So now you have two pretty much equal tubes. This one obviously is a little bigger, you can see, but that's alright. So now what you're going to want to do is, okay, now let me think. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do, roll up a third tube and make this pretty much the same length as this. So if you want, you can do this as well. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty quick, but it's gonna be pretty sweet. So what are we at right now? 2.5 minutes. Wow, I thought we were at like 4 or something. So now you have 3 tubes, pretty much equal length, as you can see. Now what you want to do is take the first tube you had, put it in the middle of these 3 tubes. And what you want to do is, okay. So now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put in the first tube. So here you have the 3 tubes. You have the first tube you made in the middle of these 2 tubes. Now at the top tube, what you're going to want to do is about, I'm going to say, 2 inches. You're going to want to make a 2-inch chamber. So I'll show you in a second. Like this. You're going to want to make a hole like that. Oh. So hole like that, as you can see, and fit that on top. Now what you're also going to want to do is you're going to want to cut this middle tube to where this back end, so basically you're going to want to cut, if you can you see this? Okay, kind of. What you're going to want to do is basically, hold on, I'm adjusting my camera so you guys can see better. That's better. Sorry guys, I like a good camera angle. Anyways, so what you want to do is with these 3 tubes, like I said, with this one cut on about 2 inches, we might need to make this a different cut, but right now, there we go. Now with this middle tube, you're going to want to cut to where it pretty much lines up with the, is it the back end? The front of this chamber. So you're going to cut right there. So now if you put it up front with these 3, it's pretty much equal length with the front of this, as you can see. So now what we're going to do is make the cocking mechanism. So, Alright, so now what you're going to want to do is get a sheet of paper, cut it to about, actually cut this tube, this chamber to about 3 inches, maybe 2.5 inches, because this actually has to be quite big. Oh, I'll pick that up later. But so now about 2.5 inches, 2 inches, just a little bit bigger, about 1.5 inches or 2 inches from the back to where you're cutting from the back. So now what you're going to do is get a piece of paper and pretty much cut a strip as big as like the length of this. So you got this here. You got the chamber and you got your paper, and about, let's see, measure it to about there. So then cut a strip. Like, I'll show you if that didn't make any sense in a second. Pretty much cut a piece of paper that is as big as this. As you can see, it's pretty much the same length. So if you want, you could fit that inside, So what you want to do is fold this up quite a few times, actually. Fold it up. And make sure it can go on the bottom tube like this. Make sure it's at least halfway. I need a little bit more than halfway across. So, I don't mean to do this off camera. Pretty much like this, so you can fit it on the bottom. Pretty much almost so it's equal with the top. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so you could almost just rest your finger and touch both the ends. Pretty much what you need to do. Both ends of this, just rest your finger and you can touch both ends, so make it that height. Now what you're going to want to do is, and also make it high enough so it can be taped to this tube. So now what you're going to want to do is tape it to this tube. Just like this. So tape it. Make sure it's barely touching. Oh. Hold on a second. Okay, I apologize. I had to do something really quick. And make sure there's actually a pretty, like I said, an opening in the bottom so you can fit this tube inside. Just make sure. So there's this tube underneath it, and there we go. Just like that. So you pretty much taped it barely to this tube. And, oh, this is the wrong tube. Make sure this tube can fit. If you need to make another tube that can fit underneath this, then go ahead, but mine fits. And you can pull this back like that. So now what we're going to want to do is, get an extra tube you had before. Hopefully you have extra tube that you cut from this. And what you're going to want to do is, let me just check really quick, make sure this is properly. Okay, get that excess tube. Oh, cut it so when you're when you put these 3 tubes together, make sure it's pretty much like cut it so where it'll snugly fit between. So. Cut that a little bit more. just like that. So basically, oh, and make sure the chamber is facing to the right. I mean, well, towards you if you have it like this. So just make sure it's out, like to the right side of the gun. So, and now what you're going to want to do is get this little tube part, like I said, and tape it. Tape it to just like that. Do it to both sides. Make sure it's pretty darn sturdy. I'm gonna make this thing really sturdy, so I'm wrapping tape all around it. Oh. Alright, well, I'll see you guys in part 2 of the simple shotgun tutorial. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this part. Yeah, see you guys next time. Enjoy out.